Hey, welcome back. We're back in our Whitepaw colony, and today we've got some work to do over in this area. We want to get our big metal place in, our high temperature foundry. We want to get that in here. We also want to make sure that the power is all connected in here. And then we've got a couple of other items to look into across the map. Last time we got these wine cellars in, and the first thing I want to do today is to get another set of 2 on top of this. So we'll just do this and add our ladders right in there on top. Just making sure everything lines up. There we go. And then we'll take a couple of these. We'll put one out front for each height. And we'll get all of the storage barrels in there too. There we go. Can I put one here? No, I can't put one there. Then we'll just do the same thing over here. Match them up. Put one there. Get some here. And then once we're able to get a couple more of the degrees for it, we can go ahead and get those built. But right now, we do need the degree to get our foundry, which, if we take a look here, they are working on it, but it looks like we're stalled on quartz. So let's check our quartz mine real quick. We're not even pulling in quartz, so let's get those tools. Yep, we have tools, so they should be able to do all that. We'll get those going. I'm going to pause this for a second, because what they're missing here is waste rocks, so they're throwing them out before we can use them to build everything we need. While we're here, though, let's go ahead and take a look. We were still working on getting these in, so let's keep on building that. And then we've got our area here. Now, we don't quite have the science yet for the high temperature foundry, but that's okay. I want to hook it in, if possible, right about there. So we should be good. We'll be able to take that out of there. The only thing is, I also want power to come down and across over here. The best way I can think of doing that is to go ahead, put a tunnel in, and we might have to remove a little bit. For instance, this one might have to become a universal, but we'll let that go as we get that tunnel in there. Our scavenger junkyard is still saying there's nothing in range when... Oh, that's why. I forgot to change this over. Let's take you off of there. And then we'll go here, connect them in here, and then we can just get rid of this. That'll give them a little bit of metal there, but we probably need to start looking for an alternate source. We could do here, but this often floods with bad water. So let's take a look. We've got a whole bunch over here that we could definitely make use of. And it looks like this has already served its purpose. Let's move it down a little bit so we can get it out of the way. There we go. And I don't think we need that. Let's go ahead and we'll just delete that out of there. There we go. And if we take another set of these, let's say we build some across the river here. Where does that got to go to? You've got to go to there, and then you can go to there. And then if we get our station here, how far forward can it go? About that far. Let's see if that's enough. Actually, let's move you over to be on the side of the road there. And can we connect? Yep. We'll connect to there. And then back to here. Hopefully that will give them enough range to pull in most of this metal over here. If we have to move it, we'll just switch it out with a pylon and put it closer in. While we're here, though, last time we got a lot of this planted, but we had a great tip come in that in between a lot of these trees, as long as you don't take out the middle one and this one with the flag on it, they'll keep replanting the sequoias. But we could use all this extra land for grapes. So I'm just going to put some grapes in here. There we go. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent thing or if that's going to change. So we're just going to kind of be conservative and try our best not to plant too much or override anything that we shouldn't be overriding. We'll do that. Not to mention, for some reason, this set of trees, these three right here, got off by one. And I'm not 100% sure why they did that. But maybe when we cut them down, we can have them replanted in a straight row to make it a bit easier to get grapes in there. Something else that I've been wanting to get, we have our nice library here, and we need a nursing license so that we can start getting some hospitals. In fact, we might turn this whole area into, I guess you could call it a nursing complex, a hospital complex. We're going to start with them, but we're going to need balm, and balm comes from the alchemist, but we don't have one currently specifically for that. So we're going to go put it here with the rest of the alchemists. As soon as they're able to clear those up, we'll say that's high priority, and we'll have to check back on them so that the brambles don't instantly fill back in behind it. Checking back on our zipline station here for the metal, it looks like, no, it actually wasn't close enough. So we're going to take that out. We're going to move it even closer. Let's grab maybe another one of these. There we go. We'll put you... How far? You look like you can go all the way to there. And then we can just put the zip line really close to the metal. We put you, say, here. That ought to give us a pretty good range on what they can and can't do. Let's make sure that we can connect that all in there. Add connection to you. Add connection to you. There we go. And I do want to make these a little more important since we've ran out of metal on the other side. They're almost done with this tunnel underneath, but while we wait, I want to take a look and get a couple more of these in. See if we can put a couple of these across from each other here. Something like that, maybe. We do those. Get this in. And then also, I'm noticing my bad water is being used at a fairly rapid rate. So maybe it's time to actually get the best bad water item that we can actually get. So it's 700, but we should have enough. Now, that's going to delay our foundry just a bit, but that's okay. We'll make it through. I just don't want to run out of some valuable resources while we wait for other things. So let's go ahead. We'll put you in there. And then we have to figure out, it looks like the power that it needs comes from this little spot right here. We just need to get the power lines in. Do the upward shaft here. There we go. And then we need our vertical and the downward. Upward, power, downward. There we go. That connects that in. Then we just have to come out and around. Oops, that probably needs a turn, since they only connect at certain spots. There we go. And the question becomes now, how do they get out there? Well, we'll just do something like this, maybe. We could probably do it easier from this side. So let's do this. Well, maybe this, and that. That'll work. We'll just leave it with that. And then the same thing here that we did before. We'll dynamite down just a bit so we can start connecting all of those in. Let's grab dynamite. It's at least 4 deep, so we'll leave that one. And once they've got all this in, we'll redo this just a little bit so that they can be pulling in that extra bad water. They got the tunnel in here, which is good, but we are going to have to take this out for a universal. So let's just do that real quick. If we take out this bottom one, Yep, that should take all of those out. And then what we're going to need... Do we need a universal, or is there upward T? Make sure this is the right direction. Upward shaft, intersection. I believe this is the one that we want. I think that's going to have to go that way. Let's see if we put a vertical on top of it, if it connects in. It looks like it, and then if we do a horizontal here, there we go. Now we just have to rebuild up this way, put our downward back in, and there we go. We'll have a power line coming out the mountain here just as soon as they've got it. We've almost got it connected into this one as well, so this will just be super helpful to get our power to our foundry as soon as we have our science back up for it. We've got the hole dug for this one. However, we're going to need to connect it in underneath, of course, so our beavers are going to have to get down there. It means we're going to have to drop in some ladders. Let's grab that. We'll go back down to this level, and then we're going to have to tunnel over, which we've already got a good portion of the tunnel done, so that should be pretty easy. We'll let them tunnel there. Let's say that's pretty important. There we go. And then we can start connecting all this. I think this is all connected in finally. Yep, and it added a whole bunch of extra power. So that's good. That ought to get our battery charged up pretty well. In fact, I think for the longest time, it has been at the top, which is good. That's what we wanted to see. Our scavenger junkyard still says it's out of range, even though if you look at the range over here, there's definitely metal within its range now, so I'm not sure why it's deciding it's not going to work. I've paused it and unpaused it, but it still does not want to go. So we're just going to make do with a couple of scavenger flags. I think there's 6 people in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll see if we can do 6 there, and then we'll come back over here. And we'll take this all the way down and say lowest priority. There we go. And hopefully it can get some of these in here. These guys can't pick up the metal as quickly as them, but they at least can get it. The power's in for this. We just don't yet have a road, which is not terrible. We can pause both of these so that everybody leaves. Hopefully everybody leaves. There we go. And we'll take these out. And the front door for this is right here. Yep, so what I'm going to do is let's just drop a dynamite here. And then once we've got that... Actually, did I do a 2? No, we'll do that. We'll drop a ladder down, and then we'll path over through a tunnel to this. And that should be okay. We're once again getting close to our 1,000 science, but again, we're going to have to spend a little. We've got our nursing license ready to go, so if we come in here and we grab our clinic, we can put it right on the corner here. There we go. That'll give us at least a little bit of, hopefully, help. We'll do, in fact, we'll do 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Super tall clinic. Let's do ladders to get up to each of the different floors. There we go. And we'll make a little bit of a pass-through area here. There we go. If we grab maybe some decorations, we could do 1 on each side. Let's do maybe a roof. Yeah, I think a roof would be fine here. We'll do a roof. We'll do a roof. There we go. Connect each one in, because why not? Have any other decorations that we could use? Fountain? I don't think we can get a fountain in there. Can we do anything for well-being? Nope. So we might just have a couple of roofs on it and call it good for now. Big moment's finally come. We've got enough science and nothing currently that we need to spend them on to get our foundry. So let's see if we can get this. We're going to put you, yeah, right there. There we go. We are going to have to change the type of power connection that is, though. Power, let's do the downward. That can go there. Then we just got to build. Do we want to do... No, I don't want to do a universal. I want to do an upward. There we go. And then a downward right in. That will let us connect this in. Go ahead. We'll put that on there. Now, what do we want to have them start with? Scrap metal? No. We're going to start with probably glass panes, but let's get some storage down for all of these things. We are going to do piles. I believe most of these work in piles. 3 and 4. Let's mark what we need for them. This is going to be for glass. This is going to be for scrap metal. This is for... What else can you make? The saw blades? I don't know if we're going to need that many saw blades, but... Oh, these are the improved saw blades, and these are... Well, silicone ingots. Definitely need something there. But this... Is this a special warehouse? Let's find out. Let's just toss down a warehouse and see if it's in there. Nope. Can't use those. What about... scroll display. Here it is. Glorious storage. Are those saw blades glorious? Yep, they're steel saw blades. So, what we can do there is we'll just take one of these and we'll do... This way, we hopefully never run out of them. There we go. And when that's all made, we'll come back and take a look. This is going to take a whole lot of beavers. Plus, it's kind of dangerous. So, hopefully, we'll have those hospital up by then. I've been waiting here a while for my high-temperature foundry, and it looks like we're just stuck on clay. And honestly, I don't think I have a lot of clay places. There's one here. I think there used to be some over here, but we've taken them out. So we're going to go and grab a couple more. I think there's a couple of places. Yeah, there's a great place up here. We should be able to... Let's copy that one. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And can we do one here maybe? Nope. How about here? There's a good place for one. Just got a bunch of clay going in up here. Let's try... How about... here and here, and that ought to use up a lot of the extra beavers that we have waiting around. Let's get all of those in there, and we'll just come down here, connect all of these in. There we go. Let's say those are all fairly important so that we can pull that clay in quickly and get that foundry built. With our wine cellars in for the kimchi, we can come through and take out most of our fermentation barrels for kimchi. One wine cellar makes about the same as 30-ish of these barrels, 30, 32 in there, so we should be able to take out most of these. If we go through and just find out which ones are still kimchi. Let's see, we don't need that one, this one, any of these kimchi, that's kimchi. Don't need that, or this. Let's check on this one. Nope. What about any of these? Nope. 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 We're going to get a whole lot of room back here. Kimchi, kimchi. Yep, this is all kimchi. That's not kimchi. I don't think either of you two are. Nope. Are there any other barrels around that might be for kimchi? It does not look like it, but it does look like the beavers that were occupying those have gone to do something else, and we've got them freed up for anything else that we may need, specifically the foundry when it gets put in. There we go. Our high temperature foundry finally made it in. It started producing some glass panes, which will let us get some more cool stuff. But I think that's going to be next time. We managed to do quite a bit today with the foundry. We're working on the last of the clinics there to help our beavers out. And we've expanded both this way, and we put a little more stuff up here. So our colony is just expanding out all over the place. Next time, I think I'm going to continue going down the river here with our power. I'm going to look into getting the clockwork farm so that we can hopefully get a little bit more food, and possibly expanding out over here to do some farming as well, because we're just low on a couple of the basics. And hopefully that can help us out as we go along. Plus, I have an idea for back here. We might be able to start that next time as well. But until then, just want to say thank you very much for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Bye!